Will you stand with me, those of you who can stand? Turn your Bibles to the book of Hebrews chapter 10, please. In Hebrews chapter 10, reading a few verses there from verse 38, or 35, from verse 35. Excuse me, from verse 35. Scripture reads, "So do not throw away your confidence. It will be," let me just read that over again, please. "Do not throw away your confidence. It will be richly rewarded. You need to persevere, so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what He has promised."
Yes.
Wow. Let's just let that soak in for a moment, please. It's just a minute. You need to persevere, so that when you have finished the will of God, you will receive what He has promised, which means that there is no shortcuts with God. None. No shortcuts with God. For in just a little while, He who is coming will come and will not delay. But my righteous one will live by faith. Must live by faith. And if he shrinks back, if he has a plan B, if he shrinks back, I will not be pleased with him. But we are not of those who shrink back and are destroyed, but of those who believe and are saved. Amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your word. It is alive. It is well. Spoken many years ago, centuries ago, but still carries the same weight, the same anointing as it did when it was written by men who were led by the Holy Spirit. And so, Lord, as we sit today under your anointing, may you open our ears to hear the counsel that you desire for us to receive from you. So minister to the hearts of your people. You recognize, our Father, that there is an enemy who is waiting to snatch this word from us. But today, I cancel his assignment. I plead the blood of Jesus all over your children's ears and their hearts. And so I pray that you'll give them an ear to hear what your Spirit has to say to each of us today. And we give you the praise in Jesus' name. Amen, amen. Give God some praise, somebody. Amen. Praise the Lord. Praise God. Praise God. God bless you. Take this place. Thank you so much, visitors, for coming to worship our Lord Jesus Christ with us today. Amen. Praise the Lord. Back in the late 90s, some of you perhaps may remember that there was an article that the Boston Globe produced that's called a Boston Miracle. How many of you were around at that time? Only a handful of you. Amen. Praise God. There's a group of folks from the Boston Globe that came into the church that I was a part of because they wanted to find out the secret for success of ministry in Boston. And of course, as they came in, Bishop Thompson informed me that these group of people will come in at one morning prayer, somewhere between the hours of 5, because we had prayer from 5 to 7, and they'll be coming in somewhere around 5 in the morning to come and to see what we're doing in church at that time of the morning. I said to Bishop, well, when they come, Bishop, please understand when I come to prayer. When I come to prayer, I come with only one assignment. Amen. Amen. They can come, but I will not interfere with my prayer time. Amen. To talk to them. So of course they came in, they videotaped me, and they took pictures of us and placed us on the Boston Globe and all that good stuff. And they wrote an article that's called the Boston Miracle. The reason why they call it Boston Miracle is because no young man under the age of 18 was shot to death in Boston for 2.5 years. Yeah. You didn't hear that? Let me say it again. No young man in the city of Boston was shot to death under the age of 18 in the city of Boston. Somebody will give God some praise. Yes, he was praying in the radio, he was praying in the air and all of that good stuff. There was a delegation that came from various parts of the country and came to Boston to see what is the secret of the success of Boston. That why is it that Boston is no different from Chicago, from these other cities in the United States. But they came to Boston to see what's the secret of the success. And I recall that one day as we got together, a bunch of clergymen, myself, and there were other community leaders there in that meeting, and many of them were taking credit for better working relationship between them and the community. And I sat there because I was one of the newest pastors in the scene, and I just sat there listening to each one take their credit. Take their credit. And I said, well, at the end of their speech, I said, can I just say something? Yes. And I said, I'm really grateful for what the Boston police has done in our city. But I have another solution. My Bible speaks of Psalms 127, verse 1. Those of you perhaps do not know what that verse says. But that verse says, except that, come on, talk to me somebody, except that, keeps that. Let me help you with that verse. It said, except the Lord keeps the city, the watchmen stand guard in vain. So even though they may think that the glory belongs to them, the glory belongs to our God. Because I could assure you today, my brothers and sisters, that every city in these United States of America got police just like Boston. Can I have an amen? Every city got the SWAT team. Every city got FBI. Every city got all kinds of security system that's at work. But there was none, hallelujah, that could have said that they had no young men that was shot to death in their city beside the city of Boston. Somebody had to give God some praise. Come on. Amen. We give him what he deserves. Amen. You deserve it, oh God. You deserve it. So I sat in another meeting, and in that meeting, one of the pastors says there are three things that belong to God. Number one, he says, vengeance is mine, saith God. I will repay. That means that if someone do you something wrong, just put them in the hands of Almighty God. Please do not attempt to take revenge, because vengeance belongs to God. Come on, vengeance belongs to God. Amen. The second thing that he said belongs to God is that tithe belongs to God. And when I say the tithe, it's not T-I-D-E. That's to wash your clothes. But I'm talking about T-I-T-H, which is your tithe, your obligation to give to God. Which, of course, we pastor in there. This is not for you. I'm just preaching to the choir. Amen. But for those of you on Facebook Live, amen. Praise the Lord. And then he said that my glory I will give to another. That means that when God elevates you and bless you, don't raise up your collar and stick your nose up at somebody else. You give God the glory for what he has done for you. So, of course. So we look at the text today that says, do not cast away your confidence. That thing that got you to where you are. Now I found out that the biggest fight that you and I would experience is the fight for our faith in God. You see, my brothers and sisters, God has a way of giving us a promise. And from the time he gives us the promise to the time when that promise is fulfilled, there is a period right in here that you've got to wait. It's got, come on, Pastor. Come on, Pastor. I said, amen. Oh, no, you say, amen. I'm going to use these two speakers. These two stands for me. God gave us the promise right here. God gave Abraham the promise right here. He was 75 years old. Abraham, you will have a child. Oh, yes, Lord. Woo! Hallelujah. Glory, I'm going to have a seed. Year one came. Nothing happening. Year 2 came. Nothing happening. Year 3 came. In the meantime, his body is getting older and older and older. Abraham, do you remember 75 years ago when you asked Sarah hand in marriage? You guys are nice and young. You have no gray hair there. And, oh man, everything was working nice. But as the years go on, it became more difficult. It became more difficult and more difficult. In the meantime, Abraham received a word. And the period between here, it's that 25-year span that Abraham had to wait until a certain time. It seems to me, brothers and sisters, that God has a way of waiting until all hope is gone. Until every possibility of you doing something to interfere is being erased. And when all hell and mankind says it's impossible, God says that's the moment I've been waiting for. Because when you have nothing to do with it, and God says now is the time. And 25 years later, I'm telling you, because between here, I could hear Sarah saying, what are you trying to do? Don't you see these bodies? You could barely raise up your hand. You got gray hair all over you. And you see, what are you trying to do? And Sarah, remember, listen, please, you're not 60 anymore. Leave me alone. And somewhere, 75 years later, as Sarah turned around and looked at her husband, she said, ooh, I never seen you like I'm seeing you now. It's like a brand new spark came into me. And 25 later, something has happened. But the problem for you and I today is what goes on between here and there. What goes on between this waiting period? That the writer says, do not throw away your confidence. It will be what? Richly rewarded. So God's principle is W-A-I-T. And you live in that day when that's a word that nobody likes to hear. Wait. I haven't got patience. Wait. You may remember the days when you go to the bank, you got to stand up in the line. And the teller is chewing a gum. And you got to wait until she feels like attending to the customer 10 rows ahead of you. Today, now, my daughter said to me, Daddy, you don't have to go to the bank anymore. You could just sit there with your check, enter into the computer, and you can sit right at your home, and zoom, it goes in. I said, yeah? Can that happen? Oh, sure, let me show you, Daddy. In 2 minutes, the check was in the bank. And I said, oh my God, Lord, this is a different day. Nobody waits any longer. But it's a principle of Almighty God that everybody got to wait. Everybody have got to wait. Because the principle of God. And I'm going to give you some things this morning what Abraham had to face. Between the time when God gave Abraham that word and the time when that word came to fruition, Abraham had to battle what you call the voices. The voices that whisper in his ears. Why are you waiting? Don't you think you've prayed long enough? You've given long enough? You've witnessed long enough? Can't you see God ain't paying attention to you? And Abraham had... Listen, let's go to Romans chapter 4, please, before I quote it. Romans chapter 4. In Romans chapter 4. This is what Paul says concerning Abraham waiting. He says in Romans chapter 4, I read it here, he says in verse 18, against all hope, Abraham in hope. Against all hope, became the father of many nations. Just as it had been said up to him, so shall your offspring be, without weakening in his, without weakening in his faith. He faced the fact that his body was as good as dead. Since he was about 100 years old, and Sarah's womb was also dead. Yet he did not, talk to me somebody, yet he did not waver through unbelief regarding the promise of God. What was it that made Abraham, against all hope, against everything, he held on to God. He held on to something. So he heard the voices of all those who oppose God. And I want you to repeat after me. Devil, you're alive. Come on. You say that you'll be done like you do not believe it. Or you say with some passion, devil, you're a liar. You cannot speak the truth. So if God says it, it means it got to be so. Got to be so. Abraham believed. Yes, this body may be going through. The doctors may have said, you got 6 months to live. The doctors may have said, you see, I'm seeing something inside there. It looks bad. Can I call it family? But please, if God gave you a word, Jesus. Listen, when the world says no and the devil says no, God says yes. God cannot lie. When you find no one else he could swear by, he swore against himself. He said, there's nobody bigger and better than I am. I am the best. I am the Lord God. I am the master. If I speak a word, it will not fall to the ground and die. You got to silence the voices. Number two, no, you got to silence the voices. Number two, you must receive your word from God. Not the word that Cooper is giving you today. But you have got to know that you have your word from God. You see, Pastor Cooper will give you a word today. But what you need is not my word. Because my word will leave you. But when God speaks a word, it stays with you. You got to hold on to that word. What helped Abraham through this is that God is one who says, you're going to have a child. You are going to have a child. Even though Sarah may have said, I think God meant Hagar. That's what God meant. God says, you're going to have a child. A seed comes from your own loins. This is going to be the promised child. Sarah thought she could help God. But Abraham was firm. I believe God. God gave me a word. Receive your own rhema word from God. So when everybody, and the word that God gives to you may not be the same word He gives to your brother or sister. You may be seated there as I'm talking to you today, and you're listening to me, and God is saying something else to you right now, because you are a child. You in your own personality, you are a child of Almighty God, and God has a special word for you regarding your own situation. You got to make sure it's your word. Number three, you must remind God of His promises. That's why when you hear me pray, I say, Lord, you said. No, please hear me. I'm not saying what somebody has told me. That's why I've got to spend time before Him, because I need to hear from you. You may wonder, why is it that at Destiny we got so much prayer time? It's because I'm trying to get you to be in a place where you can be in His presence all the time. Whether it's together or at your house or driving your car, you need to be talking to God all the time. All the time, all the time. Because the enemy is coming against you all the time. Listen, let me tell you this. Maybe you don't know that. But we are under attack. Serious attack. There are folks who are not here. Some of them are sick and all kinds of mess, because the enemy is just viciously coming against them to attack their faith in Almighty God. But I want you to look at me today. You see this guy right here? Listen, the devil come at me with everything he's got. Even if I got to drop on my knees and crawl, I'm going to make it. 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 Next, listen. You got to be a worshiper. And you can't wait until the body's here. You can't wait until Pastor Lee says, I'm leaving you. And this thing, you can't wait for them. You've got to be a worshiper in your own space. You've got to make sure you are a bona fide worshiper. You can lift up your voices to Almighty God. In spite of what you're going through, in spite of the trial or the consequences, you can say, I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. You will praise God. Come on, somebody. You will worship your God. You will give God what he deserves. Listen to me. I got the news about my daughter passing. You know what I did. I put myself in a corner. I knelt down. I did not question, Lord, how could this happen? But Lord, you are God. You are God. You are sovereign. My God, you are the one who gave us. You gave us these children. But my God, nothing going to stop me from worshiping you. Not even the death of my daughter. I'm going to serve you, oh God. I'm going to serve you. I will worship you. In spite of all hell my greatness against me, I'm going to stand firm and worship my God. So as I worship Yahweh, the blessings come down. As you worship God, the blessings come down. When you lift up your voices and give God the praise, the blessings come down. And the blessings come down. The praise is God and the blessings come down. The praise, come on. The praise is God and the blessings. The praise is God. The blessings. It doesn't matter what situation you are in, you ought to open your mouth and give him the praise. I'm not talking about clapping your hands up because you know that the things that God has done for you. I do not know what God did for you, but I know what he did for me. I know who I believe. I know in whom I believe, and I'm fully persuaded. It's God I'm talking about. Abraham received that word, and he waited. Bombarded by negative voices, bombarded by his own self. He spent time to worship God. He spent time reminding God of his promise. Lord, you said 10 years ago. You said 15 years ago. Lord, you said 20 years ago, 25 years ago, Lord. You said I'm going to have a child. Lord, I'm holding on to that word, that I'm going to hold on to that word. And therefore, I decided to take a look at some folks who held on to their word. I'm going to share them with you this morning as we move on. Listen. There are 4 individuals I want to share with you this morning. 4. You may recall there in the Gospel of St. Luke chapter 17, Jesus Christ met 10 lepers and they asked him to be here. They told him, go and show yourself to Moses and do what the law requires you to do. And as they were going to him, as they were moving from the word to the promise, as they were moving, as they're walking, the leprosy began to leave their skins. As they're looking at their skins, they're rejoicing. Oh, man, look at me. The skins are moving, they're clear. And then one of the guys says, oh, it's amazing. He turned around and he went back to give God thanks. And when he went back, listen to the words of Jesus. Jesus says, were there not 9 or all 10 cleansed? Where are the 9? No one has returned to give praise to God. And then Jesus said, or the writer says, except this foreigner. Last week I shared with you that an unsaved person could come into this church for the very first time. Do not know God, do not know the Bible, but they walk in here and they hear the word of God preached. About Jesus is a healer. And when they hear the word of God preached, they believe that word. And the preacher says, those who are sick, come up to be healed. And the person walked down the aisle, the preacher speak the word of God, touch their bodies, and they're completely healed instantly. And folks can be in that church for years and are sick, and they cannot get healed. It's because the enemy has attacked their faith in such a place where they are so weak in their faith that they do not believe like they used to. Listen to me. There are folks who used to be on fire for God. I know what I'm talking about. But preach the word of God, the unadulterated word of God. You preach the word of God. When you go forth, you see miracle signs and wonders. And today, they are lukewarm. They are not believing like they used to. There are all kinds of stuff. They are preaching a twisted gospel to ease the society guilt. But I'm telling you, the Bible says, this foreigner, observe the scripture. The scripture says, this foreigner, which means that he was not a part of the church. He was a man from the outside. He was a person outside. He came into the church and he get healed. And this foreigner, the Bible says, he returned to give God thanks while all the others just going about their business. And Jesus looked at that fellow and says, go your way. Your faith. Come on, somebody, your faith is healed. Your faith is healed. Your faith is healed. Next, listen. You remember the story there in Mark chapter 5. There was this woman who was hemorrhaging. For how long? 12 years. For how long? 12 years. She had a problem with her body. One day, she heard Jesus was passing by. She heard Jesus passing by. She said, if I can just get to Jesus. Remember this, that if someone is hemorrhaging, it means that they are weak in their bodies. Talk to me, somebody. You could never be hemorrhaging and feel as strong as you used to be. That means that she was physically weak. She was not as strong as she used to be. And she's looking at the crowd, because there's a crowd pressing all around Jesus. And she's wondering, if only I can just touch. And as she's walking, picture in your mind, please, this frail, weak woman trying to get to Jesus. And these people who are not concerned about her would push her down, and she would collapse on the ground. And she collapsed on the ground. And she said, oh no, I'm okay to push me. You can step on me. But all I want is just a touch. It's just a touch. It's just a touch. It's just a touch. All I want is just a touch. If I can only touch. If I can only touch. Just one touch. Just one touch. She said, if I can only just touch. If I can only push past all these people and just get to him. Maybe there are people all in front, but I can just stretch my hand just a little further and touch. And just barely, just touch. Oh God, picture in your mind, please, the one touch from the master's garment, and she was completely free. Completely free. And the Bible says, do not throw away your faith. That same faith that caused you to touch the hem of his garment. Keep that faith alive, sister. And the Bible says that also Jesus Christ was heading to Jerusalem, and he's crossing Jericho, and there was this man who was blind. He was just seated there with his little cup. Can I have the 25 cents to get a cup of Dunkin' Donuts? I mean, he's just waiting there with his cup. Just give me, just a dime. Help me, somebody. And the man is waiting there, and he heard this commotion. And while he's hearing this commotion, he asked the question, what's going on? Somebody, what's going on? And somebody says, Jesus is passing by. Jesus. You mean the one who turned water into wine? Yeah. Jesus. You mean the one who raised the dead? Yes. Jesus. Jesus? You mean the son of David is passing by right here? Yes. He turned his face towards the crowd and he yelled out, Jesus! Come on, say to me. He yelled out, Jesus! Come on, you say like you don't believe me. Come on, say to me. He yelled out, Jesus! Son of David! He yelled out, Jesus! Son of David! Have mercy on me. Jesus heard the call. Folks will say, shut up, you shut up. He was telling the master, shut up. The more they told him to shut up, it's harder he yelled. Jesus! Every ounce of breath inside of his body. Jesus! Son of David, have mercy on me. Jesus, stop. He caught his attention. Bring him to me. Yes. Jesus saw him. He was blinded. And Jesus looked at him and says, what do you want? Please. Jesus asked him, what do you want? And the man says, that I might see. That's all. Please hear me. When we call upon him and he gets his attention, he's asking, what do you want? Why are you calling my name? What do you want from me? Do you have faith to believe that you receive? Do you have faith to believe that you receive? You said you want to see. Do you got faith to see? And the man says, yes, that I may see. And Jesus Christ says, go, your faith has healed you. The beautiful thing about this, the beautiful thing about these three examples is that throughout the scriptures you see Jesus Christ connects the miracle with faith. Faith is the currency that we need to access anything from God. So basically, if these men did not have faith, or this woman did not have faith, she could have touched the hem of Jesus' garment and did not get healed. As a matter of fact, Jesus Christ's disciples said to him, hey, there are folks touching you all the time. What do you mean, who touched me? Jesus Christ says, hey, that's not the touch I'm talking about. You see, folks are touching him all the time. And Jesus Christ is saying, I'm not talking about that touch. Some of you are touching me because you just want something from me. But I want to give you something that the world cannot give to you. It's a different kind of touch. That Jesus Christ says, this touch that I received caused something to leave me and transform into you. Thank you, Jesus. This touch I'm talking about is the touch that will produce life inside of you. This touch, and I believe, as I'm talking to you today, that somebody in this room is believing God for something. And Lord, hell break loose against you. When God was spoken to you back here, and you're moving towards your destination, all hell comes against you. All hell break loose against you. But you're saying, I know in whom I have believed. I am fully persuaded. God is able to keep. So when the devil says no, God says yes. When the world says no, I love it because I'm serving a God that's bigger than mankind. I'm serving a God that's bigger than the United States of America government. I'm serving a God that's bigger than any organization. I'm serving a big God. As the water and the snow came down from heaven, waters the earth, says the word that comes out of my mouth, it will not return to me empty. And God says in Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 12, I am watching my word. I'm watching my word to see that it's fulfilled. Abraham, yes, you are in year 12, but please remember that I'm watching my word. That word I gave to you back there, I'm still watching it. Don't think I'm not aborted at that word. That word is going to come to fruition. Just hang in there. Just hang in there, Abraham. Just hang. Keep walking, son. Keep walking. Keep running. Yes, don't be distracted by the waves. Don't be distracted by the winds of life. Don't be distracted by the brokenness. Don't be distracted by the deaths and the sicknesses. Don't be distracted by all the confusion the enemy is bringing against you. Keep focused. Keep your eyes on me. If I said so, I'm going to do it regardless of what man says. I will do what I say, said the Lord. I say to you, brothers and sisters, today your faith is going to be tried. If you are not being tried as yet, it will be tried. It will be tried to see if you got what you really say you got. Because God doesn't just make a promise and give it to you right away. I wish that was the case, Brother Jeff. That God make me a promise. Hey, you'll have a wife, and you'll have some beautiful children, you have a nice house, nice boat, and go fishing. But that's not the way it works. He may make that promise. But brother, between the time when you give you that word and the time when you see that word fulfilled, man, it could be years. It could be years that pass. You could end up with scars and bruises and all kinds of testimony and says, my God, between the time when God gave me that word to the time when I can see that word come to fruition, God, you have no clue of the hell I've been through. That's why when you see people with an anointing, you do not just say, I want that anointing, because you do not know the price that you pay to get to that. I'm saying I'm setting you up because next week, Sunday coming, Pastor Aaron Wilson, who was here, student at Benny Hinn, will be back with us next Sunday, preaching both services here and in Randall. And I am believing God for nothing less. Come on, say to me, nothing less.
Nothing less.
I am believing God for miracles, signs,
and wonders. Amen.
It should be the norm of the church session. When we come to church, it should be the norm that miracles should not be something I don't know God could do. No. It should surprise us when there is no miracles. It should surprise us when there are no signs. It should surprise us when there are no miracles, signs, and wonders. We should see the norm of the church should always be miracles, signs, and wonders. But people do not believe like they used to. People don't believe like they used to. Yes, I just go to church, and it's a religious thing that I go, and I just accept the word, and I go back home and do as I please. That's not the God I'm talking about. I kind of believe that's why Jesus Christ says, many are called, but few are chosen. There are few people who believe like they used to. This is one of them. I am stupid to believe, but I will believe. I choose to believe God. Come on. I choose to believe God. 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 God has been pleased.